It's finals week on MasterChef. And the battle for the title is almost over.
This competition is all-consuming. You get into bed at night and your mind is still ticking over with what there is still left to do. Yeah, pressure's on.
This has been a life-changing experience. This isn't just a cooking competition for me. This is so much more than that.
The desire to win is strong. It's like you're being led towards a, like a horse with a carrot in front. We're right at the end of it now.
Everyone's had moments of exceptional cooking. So it's really going to come down to how we cook on the day. I honestly think it's anyone's game.
Tonight, the 4 finalists cook off to secure a coveted place in the MasterChef 2021 final. And face their most daunting challenge yet, working under world-renowned chef Michelle Roux Jr. at Chef's Table.
2 massive challenges centered on the classics.
Strap yourself in, this is going to be a very exciting ride.
You've made it to the final 4. Now, one more hurdle, a massive hurdle.
Today, we want your interpretation of a classic dish.
This has to be the best plate of food you have cooked in the competition so far. Because what's at stake is a place in the final 3. That does mean that one of you is leaving the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, you have 2 hours. Let's cook.
Classic dish is a universally admired and loved dish.
Which is cooked by people over and over and over again because it worked. If they're going to make the final 3, they have to be worthy of serving Chef's Table. And that means the food has to be fantastic. Mike is our meat maestro. From duck through to beef and partridge, and all of them really delicious.
This could be made for Mike this round. He loves classic European cookery, but what he does do is attempts too much. Now, is he going to learn that lesson? Is he going to take just a couple of little bits away and give us a dish that's perfect?
I'm hoping that taking on board what John and Greg have said will give me the edge today. The final 4 of MasterChef. If you can't go big now, you can't go big at all, can you?
What's your dish? What's your classic?
So when I think of classic, beef Wellington for me.
But that's a lobster.
Yeah, I'm doing my take on it. So I'm doing a lobster and venison welly in a crayfish mousse to hold it together, wrapped in spinach and parma ham.
How did you come up with this, Mike?
You know, when I would go round my friends, we would go hunting for crayfish when we were younger. And he lives in quite a rural area where they have a lot of venison and stuff like that. So we'd have barbecues and we'd sort of throw it all together. A bit of a surf and turf, really. And then this sort of brought it together in a Wellington.
I've never seen anything like it before. Who's tried this?
Well, my girlfriend's actually allergic to shellfish, so she couldn't try it.
That is a really, really risky dish from Mike.
Cooking of the venison and the lobster inside the pastry. That's my concern right now. It's whether they cook perfectly together. I mean, he is putting all his money on a complete reinvention of a modern classic.
So this is a pretty crucial moment. Obviously, this wrap has to be pretty tight. I want it to at least have a nice Wellington shape, so.
I suppose you've got one throw of the dice at this stage, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've sort of taken a punt, putting it all on black and hoping it comes in.
Not half.
Fingers crossed it comes out all right.
Half an hour gone. Got an hour and a half left.
I really, really want to make the final 3. I'm very determined, of course. I've got to bring it. These guys just need to move aside.
Alexina really impresses me with her originality. She does proper fusion food, which I absolutely love. And she's got technical know-how.
She can put together licorice in a panna cotta and make it delicious. She can put grapefruit and Campari with a piece of cake and meringue and it can be delicious.
However, she most certainly has an Achilles heel, and that is timing. She has got to sort that out if she's going to go further.
I sense John and Greg's frustration, so there's definitely a point to prove. I need to deliver a perfect dish. I need to show them that they've been right and put me through. I think I am pushing myself today. This is, I think, the most elements I've put on a plate. Oh, that was a bit much.
What is your classic dish, please?
So I have taken pheasantjun, which is a Persian stew made out of typically chicken, walnuts, and pomegranate molasses. I'm not doing a stew, but I'm taking the flavours of it.
And where did the idea from this come from, please?
I had this stew like a few years ago, and it's just completely unlike anything I'd ever tried. And so I really wanted to bring those flavour combinations in today.
How much would it mean to you if we did pick you for the final 3?
I don't even think there are words to really describe it. I feel like I've been preparing for this for years, so it's great to be here now.
We have duck with pomegranate, walnuts and Jerusalem artichokes. It sounds fascinating. Got a Jerusalem artichoke crisp.
Just wanting to go golden. A bit of crunch and texture on the dish.
We've got a Jerusalem artichoke puree, and then we've got a spiced Jerusalem artichoke which has been roasted in their skins. And the spicy on the outside is a Persian spice mix, which is cumin and coriander and rose petals. But I want to be able to taste that spice. On the side of that, we have got gastric sauce, a very sharp, sweet sauce, which is made from pomegranate juice with walnuts in it. I hope the duck survives amongst all those strong flavours.
I believe in this dish. I've practiced it. It just tastes brilliant. And I feel like if I ate it in a restaurant, I'd be really happy. And hopefully it will work out.
How long have we got left?
You've had 45 minutes. You're halfway.
The judges, they're looking for perfection, so that certainly kind of puts the pressure on.
Tom, throughout this competition, has shown us a real different style. He loves the flavours of Asia, but he puts them with a classic European idea. A chocolate brownie with a black sesame seed ice cream in the last round, which was absolutely stunning.
I just hope he can keep that up.
When I think of kind of classic dishes, my mind always goes to kind of Thai dishes. Those are the dishes that I tend to keep closest to kind of well-known recipes and classic inspiration. I want to take risks. I want to show the judges what I can do. So hopefully that'll come through for me today.
How do you top that dessert in the last round, Tom?
That is always the worry. I think you either stay at the top or, unfortunately, you fall back down. So I'm hoping to stay on the top with the flavours that I've got. So I'm doing khao soi today, which is a noodle soup from northern Thailand. So you'll have a bowl of noodles. That's going to be in a really rich khao soi broth. The short rib, there'll be crispy noodles on top. And then on the side, bone marrow with a Thai herb salad.
From the start of this competition, you had one objective, to win it.
Definitely.
Are you still on track to do that?
I think there's some fierce competition in the room, but hopefully I can give them a run for their money.
It's very bold of Tom at this stage in the game to present us with a bowl of noodles. I actually don't have an issue with it, as long as it tastes fantastic.
He's got to make the noodles properly.
I love to make my own noodles. I've made them quite a bit. It's like the most satisfying thing.
He's got to cook a piece of short rib. Well, I hope he's going to pull that apart a little bit. Otherwise, how do you eat a big hunk of short rib on top of a bowl of noodles?
It's not as tender as I would like it to be. It's not great.
But everything for Tom rests on the quality of this broth these noodles are in. Everything.
He's got to make sure that there's got huge amounts of flavour and lots of different layers. That's actually quite difficult to get right.
Like the last challenge, everything is disconcertingly going to plan.
Finalists, you have just 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Laura takes a classic idea and reinvents it. Smoked haddock and mashed potato, apples and custard, and puts it back together again with a bit of style.
And her food is getting smarter step by step.
I just want to show them that I'm trying to think out the box. I'm not doing the same thing every week. I'm trying to go a different direction.
Laura, what's your classic dish, please?
I'm doing a take on a Sunday dinner, a roast lamb with a mint sauce, and I'm just changing it slightly.
OK, how are you changing it slightly?
I'm making pea and herb risotto. The flavours all really go together and it's a really homely, nice, beautiful dish.
You look quite emotional.
Yeah. It's such a big day. This feels like a bigger day than any of the other days. Just such a big thing to get to this final 3 and I don't want to go.
Risotto, soft rice, lots of rich stock, sweet peas, flavoured with a bit of mint.
Knob of butter.
It's absolute classic. I think it's wonderful.
Yum, yum.
We've got pancreatata, crispy breadcrumbs flavoured with lemon rind. OK, that lemon rind, that freshness of that, might add something to the rice and to the lamb.
I'm happy with that.
But, John, how many undercooked racks of lamb have we had in this competition?
Wanted to be pink, crisp on the outside and be perfect. It might not be all bells and whistles, but I'm hoping that it tastes really good.
You got 13 minutes left.
Yes, panic stations now. It's going to be cooked or it's going to be raw or over. I've cooked it a couple of times at home and, touch wood, haven't had too many disasters. Let's get it out. The proof will be in the Wellington. Come on, that was a great cheesy line. Just let it rest, baby.
Happy with all the flavours, just really the duck now. Hopefully it'll come out perfectly.
You still not got stuff on the plates.
Don't worry, John.
Really happy with the noodles. These ones I'm going to deep fry to get them nice and crispy.
I think I'm on time. Just want the risotto to be a good consistency. Should be like porridge, oats, and be pleasurable to munch upon.
Final 5 minutes, please, everybody.
Yeah, happy with the duck.
Are you going to be on time?
I think I might be on time, Greg.
Ooh.
It's a little bit under, just a tiny, tiny bit.
As long as I get 4, I'm good.
"60 seconds. Very, very last touches. And stop.
Well done, guys.
Beautiful.
Well, that's quite some bone marrow, isn't it?
Fingers crossed, let's see what they say.
Alexina, could you please? And on time.
Inspired by the classic Persian stew Fezinjun, Alexina has cooked duck with a walnut and pomegranate puree, charred Brussels sprouts, and Jerusalem artichokes roasted in a Persian spice mix, artichoke puree and crisps, finished with a pomegranate sauce.
Your duck is perfect. Pink flesh, soft, crispy, salty skin. That pomegranate sauce starts sharp sweet and finishes a deeper smoky sweet, like the bitterness around a toffee apple. Really, really good. I like the walnut and pomegranate puree. I honestly cannot get enough of this right now.
There's nothing subtle about you, is there? Your execution of the artichokes in 3 different ways, I think, is excellent. It's really, really clever.
Oh, I'm feeling so good right now. Really, really, really pleased with the comments. Felt focused today. I knew what I had to do, and I'm really, really pleased that I did it.
Mike's take on a classic is a venison and lobster Wellington filled with a crayfish mousse, served with pom puree, pea shoots, and a tarragon and peppercorn sauce.
That's not a Mike dish. There's only a few things on the plates.
The lobster and the mousse together, which is almost sweet, with that lovely buttery, flaky pastry, salty ham, I find absolutely wonderful. However, your venison needs more cooking. Most of it's fine. The bit right in the middle, I'm pushing to one side.
The majesty on this plate comes from that classic peppercorn sauce. Cracker black pepper, a little bit of tarragon, brandy, cream. Mike, I am really, really impressed here.
Maybe it was a little bit under for Greg's taste, but that's exactly how I would eat it. I'm glad I took that risk. I'm glad that I've put it all on the line and hopefully it's paid off.
Tom has made khao soi, a classic Thai coconut and lemongrass noodle soup, served with a beef short rib and crispy noodles, and a side of roasted bone marrow topped with a Thai herb salad.
This bone marrow with a herbaceous border intrigues me greatly.
Your noodles are made beautifully. I love the fact they've got a little bit of bounce to them. Your sauce is rich and vibrant. It's warm from red chili. There's the flavour of lemongrass running through it. That's really, really good indeed. But your short rib's a big lump. It's very difficult to eat it. Practicalities.
Little chunks of it, I don't care. That is mouth-meltingly really good cooked beef. I'm loving this bone marrow. You've cooked that really well. And that takes good timing. Although I will question the amount of herbs I've got here. I mean, when I was in Covent Garden Market, I could have sold this to John the next day. Look at it. But everything you've delivered to me tastes great.
Thank you. I made a dish that I really love and make all the time. It was great to be able to make it in the MasterChef kitchen.
Well done. Thank you.
Laura's take on a classic lamb and mint roast is a rack of lamb on a pea and mint risotto, pangrattato, Italian herbed breadcrumbs, mint sauce, asparagus, and a red wine and pancetta sauce.
You've cooked the risotto well. I get a little bit of crunch, of course, of your breadcrumbs on there. Very, very good indeed. I love the sharpness of mint with sweet, succulent lamb. However, I've got a bit of an issue with the lamb, I'm sorry to say. This cutlet here, raw, I would send back.
Okay.
I love the sharpness of that mint sauce mixed with the risotto of the sweet peas. The sauce does need to be reduced a little bit more. It could be a little bit thicker.
Right.
But the big issue I've got is one of my cutlets, delicious. The other one, the meat is not cooked.
Mm-hmm. Frustrated. This is the first mistake I've made, really. So I'm hoping that they take that into account.
I'm really proud of these 4. I think they are fabulous cooks. No one is going to want to come this far, put in this much work and not make it to the final 3. It is heartbreaking.
This is probably the hardest moment you could probably go out. You are literally that close. Going into today, I just knew I had to nail it. I think I've done enough. I hope so.
I've just been fighting so hard to get to this stage. Just such a sacrifice, you know, being away from the kids so long, and a really, really emotional journey as well. I hope I get through, but we'll see.
This competition was all about proving that I could cook, that I could do it potentially as a career. It's like being a dream of mine since I was a young kid. I'm desperate for it. You'll never get this shot again.
I've tried to go in there every time, show them exactly who I am. I want to experience everything that MasterChef has to offer, and hopefully I'll get the chance to do that.
All 4 of these have put their heart, their soul, and every single ounce of time in this competition.
They're dreaming of the final 3. For one of them, though, their journey's over.
We do not underestimate the amount of work, the anguish, the tears, the joy that go in this competition. Thank you very much indeed.
The contestant leaving the competition is... Laura.
It's okay.
You have had an amazing competition.
Thank you.
We're proud of what you've done. Well done.
It's been absolutely brilliant, and good luck, guys. I feel fine. You know, I knew I had made a mistake today. It's been a complete life experience, like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You know, it's been amazing. I've learned so much about food. I'm definitely a different cook now. That's all I wanted. My daughter will be sad I didn't get through. My son's going to be over the moon. Yeah, home is where the heart is, right? So I'm going home.
Well done. Congratulations. We now have a challenge for you like no other. You are going to be cooking for Chef's Table at one of the most iconic restaurants in the land. You are going to the Gavroche, where you are going to be working with one of the country's undoubtedly leading chefs, Michel Roux Jr.
Oh my God.
Opened in 1967 by the legendary Roux brothers, Michel and Albert, Le Gavroche is the UK's most famous restaurant, which for over half a century has set the benchmark for classic French cuisine.
It's fair to say, I think, that before those brothers turned up here in London, British food was a laughingstock all over Europe. They gave British food its foundation stones, and they changed fine dining in Britain forever.
In 1982, it was the first UK restaurant to be awarded 3 Michelin stars. But even more important has been its legacy training the next generation of great chefs, including Marco Pierre White, Gordon Ramsay, Marcus Waring, and Albert's son, Michel Roux Jr., who took the helm of the kitchen in 1991.
This restaurant is so special to me and to the Roux family. Been around for 53 years now. It's become legendary. We are true to our roots. We are very French, very classical. The classic technique is so important for young chefs to learn. Once you have learnt that, you can create your own style and be innovative and do your own thing. But the building blocks are definitely classic technique, which you find here. Right, welcome. You're looking a little bit tense, a little bit nervous, and so you should be. You're walking in the shoes of previous very well-known chefs. Just where you're standing, fish section there. Gordon Ramsay, Marcus Waring, used to cook. Monica Galetti was here before, making soufflés. The list goes on and on and on and on. You each will be cooking one dish. Iconic roux dishes. Dishes that have stood the test of time here, that will challenge you and will challenge your technique. So don't mess up. Got a lot to do, so we're going to get cracking. Let's go.
This is high end. It doesn't get much bigger than this.
They are about to get a masterclass in absolute precision. They better learn and learn quick.
Alexina will be responsible for one of the restaurant's most luxurious starters. Lobster mousse and caviar encased in spinach, served with lobster medallions and a rich champagne and lobster beurre blanc.
This is the dish that my father says impressed the Michelin inspectors the most to give him 3 Michelin stars. You have to remove the flesh from a raw lobster, mince it up, pass it through a fine sieve. This is a lot of work. And then beat in some cream over ice. You need to understand how much cream can go into this mousse, because if you put too much, it'll be so soft, it'll be like a pulp. If you don't put enough cream, it'll be bouncy like a rubber ball and not nice to eat. Then I put a little bit of lobster in there. A little bit of caviar in there as well. When you cut into it, you've got the surprise, very important.
The mousse is encased in blanched spinach,
Very important that it should be lined properly.
then cooked in the oven for 30 minutes.
These little mousses are delicate, so be careful when you're taking them out of the mold. That's really, really nicely lined. There are no holes. Yeah. Caviar on top. The sauce is classic beurre blanc, but we finish it off with champagne, touch of vodka, lemon juice, and it's pink.
Yes.
Why is it pink?
Is there some roe in there, maybe?
Absolutely, you're right. There you go, the mousseline de mar au champagne et caviar.
Looks incredible. That is delicious.
There is so much labour that goes into it. Many a tear will have been shed over a mousseline de mar, including me.
Oh my goodness. It's going to be quite the challenge. Making a mousse, lining those molds, getting a perfect beurre blanc. There is a lot going on here and a lot to go wrong. So yeah, it's a big challenge.
And that clock is on time.
And then we're serving when?
In 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay.
Tom will be in charge of one of the late Albert Roux's classic main courses. Roast fillet of veal, served with a sweetbread petivier and a rich bone marrow sauce Bercy.
Right, Tom. Remove the sinew here, trim the fillet down, and roast it whole. Then basted with butter, the proper way, in my view. None of this cooking by numbers in a vacuum bag. The trimmings from the fillet of veal will be minced, and that will be the force meat to go into the petivier, which is a puff pastry little pie. And inside the pie, there'll be a nugget of sweetbread. So you egg wash the pie, get a lovely colour on it, and then decorate it maybe with a knife or a wooden stick. Need a steady hand. Just some nice decoration on there, and they should turn out something like this. No soggy bottoms, lovely and crisp, and cooked all the way through. The veal and a few sprout leaves.
The dish is finished with a classic sauce Bercy, made from reduced veal stock, shallots and bone marrow.
Yeah, don't forget, French cooking is all about sauce. Yeah, the building blocks, foundation of gastronomy, knowing how to make a good sauce.
Yeah. The dish looks absolutely amazing. Chef made it look really simple, but I'm sure as soon as I get down to it, I'll find that that's not the case.
Preparation of the 3 whole veal fillets is key, and Tom needs to roast them well before service to ensure they have enough time to rest.
This is my first time cooking with veal. I'm going to treat it very similar to how I would treat a piece of beef.
Okay, Mike, so you're going to be preparing the dessert. How do you feel about that?
A bit nervous. I haven't made one so far in the show, so it's a bit of a baptism of fire.
The indulgent chocolate disc dessert has held its place on the menu for over 30 years. Palais au chocolat amer, a dark chocolate mousse and praline-filled disc with an almond biscuit base, served with lemon madeleines.
You will need to make the biscuit joconde and cut it out, like so. Make a praline out of the feuillantine here, which is a crunchy praline biscuit, and white chocolate. Layer it like so. Then you make the mousse and push in the middle bit. Yeah? You need to get this done quick and set so that you can glaze it with a bitter chocolate glaze. Lovely and shiny and really smooth around the edges. Yeah? Dressing it on the plate, you need to be very precise. It's got to look good. You'll need a steady hand, which I'm sure you've got. So that's a little praline. Dip them in caramel so they're nice and crunchy. And then a little bit of gold leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little piece of indulgence. And then on the side, as a petit four, the madeleine, which is a little French sponge cake, which means so much to me for very personal reasons. It's the one thing that my uncle used to cook for me as a child that I distinctly remember. And as you no doubt know, my uncle passed away recently, and whenever I see a madeleine, I think of him. It just gives me a wonderful feeling. So I want you to nail the madeleines, please.
I'll do my best. There's so many elements there to get right. Obviously, madeleines are really important to chefs, so I think they're the crucial bit for me today, make sure it's out as it should be. Right, okay, I need something to measure stuff out on, first of all. How does this thing work then?
The amateurs have just 3 hours to bring together their roux classics. To ensure she achieves a perfect lobster mousse, Alexina has to pass a mixture of lobster tail, scallops and egg whites through an ultra-fine sieve.
Just getting it as smooth as you could possibly get it. Just so you get a really fine texture on the mousse, I think.
So you really need to press hard on that. You need to get that done as soon as possible because you don't want it to get warm or hot, yeah?
Right, yeah, and then it's going to go in there.
And there should be practically nothing left. Everything should go through.
OK, got you. So
Good.
put my elbow grease
A bit of elbow grease.
Sure. I'll be here for a while.
Having prepped his veal fillet, Tom must now use the trimmings to make the veal and sweetbread stuffing for the petiviers.
This will be interesting.
Remember, again, that's an expensive piece of ingredient there. Sweetbreads are very, very expensive.
Yeah,
So treat them with respect.
will do. I've never cooked sweetbreads before, so I've got no idea how they're supposed to look, to be honest. They've been poached beforehand, and then they've got to cook again in the Pithivier, so yeah, I'm hoping for the best.
Over on dessert, Mike is making the first layer to the palais au chocolat amer, the almond biscuit base that requires following the recipe to the gram.
Yeah, I'm a bit apprehensive, a bit nervous. Just going to make sure that I try and follow it to the T.
To form perfectly identical thin almond biscuits, Mike needs to make sure the mixture is evenly spread onto a baking tray.
That kind of thickness there is what you're looking for all over.
All over. Thanks, chef. And now whack it in the oven. Whilst there's loads to do, it's all very delicate and precise. This isn't right, then I'm in real trouble. And obviously I want to make sure that I don't mess it up, because this is the foundation of my pudding. Dessert, sorry. How the frick am I going to get these off of here?
Equal amounts of melted chocolate and praline flakes are then added to each biscuit.
Get out. I think they look all right, don't they? At the moment, I'm not overly worried about the time, but maybe I'm being a bit naive because I have no idea how long any of this takes.
Taking ages.
Over an hour of prep time has passed.
Are we not there yet?
This is quite the task.
Got to be quick on this because,
Because it needs to stay cool.
yeah, this is raw lobster and scallop flesh. It mustn't get warm. Get everything out of that tammy. No, hey. You are going to need every single last bit there. And it's lobster. It's incredibly expensive. Yeah, no waste.
To ensure her lobster mousse is the right texture, Alexina must now judge by eye how much double cream to add. Too little and it won't set. Too much and it will become hard and rubbery.
Alexina had a tough job, but it took her over an hour to do it, and that's set her back.
So just testing a little bit of the lobster mousse. If it's good, then great. If not, I might have to beat a bit more cream in. It just needs a bit more cream, but it was, you know, it wasn't tough or anything, so that's good. Do a little bit more, and then I think we'll be done. So much respect for people who do this, honestly.
On the main, Tom's cooked sweetbreads are encased with the veal trimmings for his pie filling.
In this kitchen, perfection's the only thing that is acceptable, really. So a lot of pressure there.
But he's behind getting his veal fillet cooked.
You must be seriously thinking about getting it roasted. Remember, the longer it rests, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah? Get a move on, come on.
Will do.
Tom needs to pick up the pace a bit. It looks as if he's stuck in first gear.
Okay.
He's only just getting the pies together. And the veal, he hasn't even cooked it yet. That fillet of veal needs at least 25 minutes in the oven and at least half an hour resting time.
I'm serving in an hour, so I really need to get a move on.
On pastry, Mike is making the all-important chocolate mousse filling for his dessert. which needs to undergo 3 different stages of setting.
Making the mousse, which has to then be piped around the shells, isn't really my forte, but we'll get there.
Mike is really up against it. He needs to get that chocolate mousse done and set. Because if that's not set, he won't be able to glaze it properly. It's going to look like a molten lava of chocolate, which might be nice to eat, but it's certainly not what I'm looking for. You really need to push on that one.
Yes, chef.
You're looking a bit red, a bit flustered.
I know. I've got lots to do, so I just want to make sure that I put the effort in now, and then hopefully I'll be able to calm down a little bit.
Keep going, keep going. Keep that intensity.
Yes, chef.
Get it in the chiller.
Yes, chef.
Today's guests for Chef's Table all intimately understand the standards required to succeed in the Roux kitchens.
I've invited Chris King, who worked his way up the ranks from here. An incredible talent. He knows French cuisine inside out.
My advice would be don't look Michel in the eye. He's got to look sometimes, and if you're nervous, he'll make you lose everything. You just got to focus on what you're doing.
I've also invited Steve Groves, who has been working for the family for many, many years now, and winner of MasterChef The Professionals going back a long, long time ago.
The advice that I would give the contestants, don't mess it up, because you're not going to get away with anything in that kitchen.
I've also invited our current head chef, Gaetano. My daughter, Emily, and my son-in-law, both very accomplished chefs. And we have Monica Galetti coming. My little Kiwi sister, as I call her. She's spent enough time in my kitchens to know every recipe inside out.
These are dishes that have been tried and tested over years. They've been perfected to the T, and that's what they need to get right.
Guys, my guests are here, waiting. They're starving, in fact. They are so happy to be here. In fact, a couple of them want to come in and give you a hand. I said, no, they don't need a hand. Yeah? You're looking great. Let's do this.
There's just 30 minutes until the first course is due. With all her attention on the lobster mousse, Alexina still has yet to make a start on the champagne lobster sauce.
The mousseline de homard, that's a dish that I have made many, many times. It's very fragile. If you don't cover these molds properly, there's going to be a little hole on there. There's just little points of detail. They really got to nail it.
I just feel like there's too much spinach.
Let's get these
Yeah.
lobster mousse in to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that
That sauce needs to get made.
needs to get on.
Yeah.
While Alexina tries to pick up the pace, Tom's only just got his veal roasting in the oven.
There's absolutely nowhere to hide with that veal. If that's over or undercooked, that's going to be immediately obvious to the diners.
We want a really nice, beautiful, pink, juicy veal, which means it has to be rested correctly, so hopefully timings will be okay.
That veal is smelling good. You've got lots of thyme and garlic on it.
Yeah,
Did you put lots of butter as well?
indeed.
Give it a little baste whilst it's cooking, yeah? Give it love.
Will do.
He now needs to master Michel's classic bone marrow sauce Bercy.
The sauce Bercy is a tricky one. They leave the chopped shallots in the sauce at the end there, so I've got to make sure that their knife skills on the shallots are good.
Probably not fine enough. This is probably like chunky by the Gavroche standards.
Mike also has a mountain of work left to do.
The moment of truth.
Right, let's see if it's set.
Are they all right?
Yeah.
The mousse did have time to set it.
Thank God for blast chillers.
His chocolate mousse discs are just set enough for him to move on to applying the glaze.
Yeah, the glaze has come out well. Let's see if this is going to fit in that blast freezer.
While they set again, he still has the most crucial part of the dessert left to make. Michelle's uncle's famous lemon madeleines.
Add flour and then fold. I hope this is right. This doesn't look right, but... I'm just piping them into the moulds now, which have been buttered and floured, which will obviously make them easier to take out the moulds. I need to make sure that they're spot on, or I'm sure he'll pull me up and quite sharpish.
Leave enough time to cook the madeleines and to decorate properly the plates, yeah?
Yeah, that's my concern, Chef. Tell you what, if I never have to pipe another dot again, I'll be happy.
Alexina, 15 minutes to go, yeah? On the pass.
Yeah.
You can have a little look, see if it's cooked. Remember how it felt?
I think that's cooked.
Yeah?
With her mousse set, her last job is to portion the lobster medallions and finish the champagne and lobster beurre blanc.
I need to make sure I do this justice.
A little bit of lemon juice, drop of vodka, don't forget.
And it's literally just a splash, is it?
It's all down to your palate. I like to see that. Tasting, tasting. Very important. We've got to start plating up now. And let's go. OK, moment of truth. There's a little gap on the corner there I can see, but yeah.
Right.
My grandfather actually created this dish many moons ago now. A lot of customers come here just to try that specific dish. It's definitely a difficult one to reproduce and to reproduce to perfection.
Sauce, how's it looking? You got enough of it, yeah?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Might be an idea not to do too much though, because otherwise you might mess it up a bit.
Yeah. Service, please.
Well done. Not a bad effort.
Yeah.
As long as you've nailed the seasoning, I think they're going to like that.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
There's only a slight gap where the spinach hasn't covered, but it's very small. Might be so small that Michelle missed it.
I think the texture of the mousse is great. It's got enough give in it, nice and soft, but it's set perfectly so you can just cut through it really cleanly.
The sauce is delicious. The only thing is I just got a piece of the carcass, which was found in the mousse, but everything else is delicious.
The sauce tastes fantastic. Maybe it could have done with a touch more vodka, but the texture of the mousse is what's really important here, and they've nailed that.
For them to do the first time on this level, you know, is a very good job.
To make a mousse as light as that is really, really hard work. Alexina's got to be happy with this.
It's absolutely perfect.
Hello, Alexina. I think I can say from all of us that it was a really, really great job that you did on it. The texture of the mousse was brilliant.
Thank you very much.
For me, I would have liked a little more of the vodka through that sauce, but your seasoning was spot on, and I thought you got a good balance on the dish. Well done.
Amazing to get that feedback. Can't believe I've just done that. Can't believe those people ate my food.
Right, Tom, are we there?
Yeah, just about there. Just the finishing touches to get ready.
Get cracking, mate.
Perfect, thank you.
How are we doing? Ooh.
The sweetbread TVA. I'm really happy with how those have turned out, and I'm just hoping that that veal fillet has had enough time to rest and that it's perfectly pink.
The contestant's got to make sure the pativia is cooked beautifully, golden. Nothing worse than a soggy bottom.
I think getting the meat cooked on this dish is going to be critical.
That looks beautifully rested, as it should be.
Thank you, Chef.
Look at that. Wow.
Thank you.
He's got a steady hand. It does look good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Service, please. Thank you.
The veal, bang on.
Thank you so much.
Well done. Clean down.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. It's crazy to think that I've just cooked a 2 Michelin star dish. Like, who gets to say that?
The veal look very good, and the PTV as well.
Got a great glaze. Curious to see how it is inside. I think the contestant did a good job with the pithivier. It's beautiful and golden on the outside. It's crispy. The sweetbreads are nicely cooked and it's delicious. The seasoning is spot on.
The veal was definitely well rested and really tender. I think this is a really impressive dish for an amateur cook.
The sauce is great, full of flavour and well reduced. I think maybe a little bit more, but more sauce, more delicious is what we say in the kitchen.
This is a really complex dish. Huge amounts of work in here. Not something that Tom would normally do. However, I think he's executed it very well.
Hi, Tom. We unanimously found the dish spot on. The pithivier was well crisp on the outside, and the sweetbreads were well cooked. Honestly, a great job.
Thank you. I'm so proud of what I've achieved today. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight, to be perfectly honest. I think it'll take me a little while to calm down. Maybe a glass of wine or two will help me on the way.
Last up is Mike. With the chocolate discs decorated, he now has to bake the all-important madeleines.
See how they go. Pretty stressful. Fingers crossed I don't get these wrong.
The madeleines, we got to get a nice toasty golden colour on the outside so they're full of flavour. Serve them warm so they're super fluffy without drying them out as well, so lots to do.
How do I get these out?
They're not coming out.
They're a little bit stuck.
Don't break them.
Okay.
Did you not butter them properly?
I did. I obviously didn't butter them enough, though, Chef.
Normally just need to tap the mould and they should pop out. Go easy on them, huh?
Yes, Chef.
OK. Get the dessert on the plate, then.
Is there a trick to getting these off, Chef, without peeling the...
You need a steady hand.
Is there a way to fix that?
No. That's better. And a bit of gold leaf on top when we're there. Steady hand.
God, it's so thin.
That's it. That'll be for my daughter.
OK.
OK. Well done, Mike. Come on. Good. So how was that?
That was tough. I hope the madeleines are OK. But the precision is just another level. It's probably something that I'm not used to, but could definitely improve on.
Honestly, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see you struggled a little bit there, but you managed to get the desserts out and you haven't panicked, which is a great sign. Yeah, it's a great sign.
Wow. It looks nice and tidy, only it's caught. You can see it's damaged the side, which is a shame.
The inside was the right amount of praline, give the crunchy to the dessert. It tastes really good.
I'm surprised that they set in time and then they glaze in time. So for me, it's perfect.
The only little problem is definitely on the madeleines. They seem really elastic and rubbery.
I know I'm a bit biased when it comes to sweet things, but I think that's a marvellous piece of work.
How's your Madeleine?
It's a little bit too firm. I don't think Michelle's going to be very happy with these.
Hi, Mike. The palette was perfect for me. You put the right amount of praline. The mousse was set. The glaze as well was shining and good. Really great job.
The only criticism I could have was the Madeleines were a little bit tough.
Yeah, I think I must have overworked it a little bit.
But no, I thought, you know, great job, well done.
Thanks very much. It's been a long day. I'm shattered, to be fair. Bit of a baptism of fire. Is such fine margins, and yeah, probably just didn't get it quite right.
It's not easy to come here and cook for my friends and family. I am genuinely impressed with them. All three of them. They did exceptionally well.
They've worked with one of the country's absolute legends, and I hope they've learned from it, because they have got a massive cook-off to come.
Can't believe there's only one challenge left between me and the MasterChef trophy. But I'm ready to give it everything that I've got.
I think it's anyone's game. But hopefully today will give me the push to, you know, do my best in that final.
I think everyone's got the trophy in their sights at this point. Of course, I'd love to win it. That would be the cherry on top of the cake.
Tomorrow night, it's the MasterChef final.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do those again.
Tom, going to plan? Oh, there is. The blue steel's come back up again.
Just had a bit of a mare.
This is a work of absolute genius.
Our MasterChef champion 2021